So we seen that the Seraphim were targeting CP0 at the end. Like Zoro said something about like, hey, they're targeting CP0. Kind of to speak to Cube's point, how it wasn't targeting the Straw Hats. It was targeting the Vegapunks, but it also targeted CP0, right? My question was, why are they targeting CP0? Like, is it? This is another reason why I'm kind of thinking it could be Saturn. Kind of like what Joy Boy said last week, where Saturn wants to get rid of the loose ends, so it's willing to kill CP0 as well. But just based on what we just talked about with Punk Records possibly, trying to become the prime Vegapunk, maybe since CP0 was there, they went to the island to kill all the Vegapunks. Like that was pretty much their order to kill all the Vegapunks. If the theory has some merit about Vegapunk or Punk Records trying to become the prime Vegapunk, and that's why he's killing off all the other Vegapunks. Could he also be killing off CP0 because CP0 was also there to kill all of the Vegapunks? And if I'm like Punk Records and I'm believing that I'm Vegapunk, I'm the prime Vegapunk, that will also make me believe that CP0 is also there to kill me as well. You know what I mean? So that could be why he's targeting CP0 and killing off the other Vegapunks is because to become the main Vegapunk is why he's killing off the Vegapunks. So, but yeah, why do y'all think the Seraphim are targeting CP0? Is this like an order from the traitor? Is it the order from Saturn? Let's roll with Cube. You got any idea of why these Seraphim are after the Vegapunks?
Why the Seraphim are after the
Or
Vegapunk?
not the Vegapunks, CP0.
Hmm. I don't know, because this is my whole thing. Is that whatever happened between the satellite and the Seraphim, whatever that thing came in between them must have given an order. And I think the idea of it is that I think, uh, okay, if I go with my idea of the system, I would see it as the system is taking care of the satellite, and he ordered the Seraphim to take care of CP0. So he needed the CP0 and Marines, let's say, to come in, or CP0 to come in for distraction. But he doesn't want them to rock amok. So he gets the Seraphim, the strongest. And you think about it, the Vegapunk keeps reminding us how powerful Seraphim. So the system would also believe that. So basically, you would have the Seraphim wipe out the CP0 while he takes care of the satellite.
Mm.
That could be a possibility. It doesn't make sense to bring in CP0 if it did that and then let them run amok. So it could be like whatever that order was, their job is to take care of CP0.
Okay. Angel. Why are the Seraphim targeting CP0 and not the Straw Hats? Like they like, hey, we want those two guys on the floor.
I don't know.
You don't have any idea. Could it have been the
No,
order? It could have been
think it
Saturn.
could have.
The Saturn
I
one.
don't think the Ser. I think it was an order. I mean, it had to have been an order. I don't think Seraphim attacked people for no reason. Yeah, that's it. I don't
Well,
have
like
any other answer. I don't know why they would
I, I
order them to
I'm
attack CP0.
I'm asking like based off of who could be ordering the Seraphim. Like, why would they want CP0 dead and not the Straw Hats? You know, like if it's somebody who's working with the world government, like possibly a traitor to the Vega, like a Vegapunk traitor, and they're working with in tandem with the world government, I would think attacking CP0 would be a no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless whoever's controlling the Seraphim has no affiliation with the world government. You know, But that's why I personally believe if it's somebody, if it's not, that's why I think if it's not Saturn, and kind of going with the idea of what Cube said about the Punk Records going rogue and believing that it is the prime Vegapunk, it would make sense if that's the case. It would make sense that it's killing the CP0 because CP0 is there to kill the Vegapunks, and it identifying as a Vegapunk, wants to get rid of someone who it deems as a threat. That's why I personally like the idea of, what Cube
Yeah,
said.
I also agree with that idea. I don't think I personally don't see how it could be Saturn. Like if Cube is right about them not wanting to attack the Straw Hats, I don't see how it could be Saturn. But I think he said that. I think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, if Saturn gave the order, maybe it prioritized, right? Like maybe it prioritized Vegapunk and CP0, and Straw Hats was more of a if they get in your way, kill them also.
I
But
mean,
first,
I don't think he would see CP0 as more important than the Straw Hat crew.
maybe, but I mean,
Especially with the way they were talking about gear, especially with the way they were talking about his devil fruit. Don't see, but then again, maybe they want to get him alive.
yeah,
Who knows?
I was going to say that as well. After you was done, I was like, maybe they don't want to kill Straw Hat right away, because he is the sun god. Maybe I would think, because we know that Blackbeard is capable of extracting devil fruits, right? Like
Yep.
Blackbeard knows a method of extracting devil fruits. So if Blackbeard knows this, I would think if there's anybody else in the story who knows how to extract devil fruits, it would be the Gorosei and possibly Een, right? So if by any chance Saturn, talking to the Gorosei, like the goal was to get Luffy's devil fruit, maybe they need him alive and they don't want to kill him right away, you know. Now I don't think, there's any reason to keep the other Straw Hats alive, but for Saturn, but Luffy, on the other hand, maybe they want his devil fruit, So it's like, hey, don't kill Luffy. Keep him alive.
And to back you up about what you just said about the Gorosei, I think so because if you remember correctly, after the Blackbeard, after the Marineford events, when the Gorosei were talking, the one thing they said they were sure of, it is impossible for a person to have two devil fruit at the same time. So they did seem to know enough about the biology and the science of it. So I would also make a bet that they know also similar stuff as Blackbeard, like to transfer form. So basically, the Gorosei did talk about two. It's impossible for two people to have so a person to have two devil fruit. But the fact that they talked about it seems that they had some sort of expertise on understanding the science behind it. So I would agree with you that they might have a means to know how to transfer like Blackbeard. Just different. The semantics are different.
Yeah, because I don't think Blackbeard is the only person capable of extracting devil fruits from somebody. I think as far as we know, he's the only one that is capable of consuming multiple devil fruits. But as far as taking them out of somebody, I don't think he's the only person. Because we also seen Jesus Burgess. He seemed like back in Dressrosa, he seemed like he knew, like he seemed like his intentions were to take the devil fruit that Sabo, the meta from Sabo, and also he tried to take Luffy's devil fruit, or he was intending to do it, so I don't think it's an ability specific to Blackbeard as far as extracting the devil fruit. But so if it's something that anybody could do, I definitely believe that the Gorosei could do it. And we know that they've been trying to find the Nika devil fruit for the longest time, but it's been evading them. So I mean, hey,
Also, think of Burgess, Dressrosa. when he wanted Sabo his fruit.
That's what I
He
said.
jumped at him, and he's a wrestler. He wanted the knife. Oh yeah, I didn't hear. Sorry, I got cut off then. I'm sorry. Didn't
No,
hear that part.
you good, but that's why I said I was saying like, I brought up Burgess because how he was acting towards Sabo and Luffy, it was like he was intending to take their devil fruits, so made me think that he knew how to do it. So, but yeah, Ragnar, what's up? Why do you think the Sarah like why are the Seraphim targeting CP0? Why are they like prioritizing CP0 over the Straw Hats? You know,
This is why I was originally I was saying that there's a fancy party like Blackbeard, right? This is where it really stems from, because if it's if it's a like a super in depth triple crossing where Lucci like is just crazy, like I said before, Lucci's a captain for Blackbeard's team, and they're just trying to like just make chaos happen. Like this is what Blackbeard does. He makes everything go into chaos, and he comes in and takes what he really wants right in the middle of it or towards the end of it. Right, that's his thing.
yeah,
That's what he's known for. So if it's a situation where the Seraphim are not really have a target, they're just trying to make everyone split up, right? Separate the group, just trying to inflate chaos. If that's your goal, then there's probably like another step beyond this. Like once they're split up, what happens then? Like who are they really aiming for? Who's a target? It's not Luffy. It's definitely not Luffy,
no,
right? It's is it Vegapunk? They wanted him dead, but so who are they really going for? Maybe there's research that maybe research is the goal here. Maybe there's a specific invention on Egghead that somebody wants. Maybe there is another. Maybe there could be a third thing here that we just don't have information on, and I think that could be the reason. Because maybe everybody has a different goal. The CP0 came in to kill Vegapunk. The Vegapunks are trying to live. Sentomaru is trying to defend them. The Straw Hats are just like the passerbys that happen to get involved in madness. But who's that other party that just wants all of them to be constantly pitting and confused and lost in the situation? Someone wants everybody confused. So it could be just another party with their own goals and agenda. I think that could be a good explanation for why they're also attacking CP0.
I mean, one thing that you said some stuff that really made me think, and it made me think like we know Blackbeard is really big into devil fruits.
Yes.
Like that's one thing he's been trying to get the best devil fruits for his crew. You know, what if another thing we know Vegapunk has a lot of research on devil fruits, and he's
Green
also
blood.
successfully recreated devil fruits, Kaido specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking one of two things. Maybe Vegapunk has a devil fruit on the island somewhere, right? Like a special devil fruit, like a special devil fruit that Blackbeard could be trying to get. Like maybe Blackbeard somehow learned it, but I don't know how Vegapunk. I don't know how Blackbeard would know that, right? I don't know how Blackbeard would know that. But
This
the
is where I
other
commended
option,
Lucci being his partner, getting information that they shouldn't have access to.
yeah, I mean, but that's if Lucci even knows that, though. You know,
Yeah, that's if.
but the other option I could see is maybe Blackbeard wants Vegapunk to create a certain devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing I could think of,
Yeah,
is Blackbeard seemed like he really wanted Boa Hancock's devil fruit.
oh my. And he does have the authority chip, like I said earlier. He could have it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't get the Seraphim per se, which I mean he would have, it kind of seems like he has control over the Seraphim somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Vegapunk can recreate the devil fruit, even if he can't get the Seraphim or. But something's telling me that Blackbeard really needs Boa's devil fruit for something. You know, I kind of have my speculations. I kind of think it has something to do with bringing back Zebek's body. Maybe Zebek's body was petrified, and he wants to unpetrify it, and maybe it's dead. You know, because if you're petrified for a certain amount of time, I'm pretty sure if they unpetrify, you'll probably be dead. You know, I would think you'll be dead. You know, especially if it's like within a certain time. You know, so Moria could bring back Zebek's body, like reanimate it. You know, with you just need Zebek's shadow. I already speculated that Blackbeard has multiple souls or personalities within his body. Zebek potentially being one of them. So all I'm saying is maybe Blackbeard he's trying to use Vegapunk to get Boa's ability somehow. He could because Vegapunk had to recreate Boa's ability when he created S Snake. So and Blackbeard seen S Snake firsthand, so he is aware of her existence. And I don't know, I would think he probably deduced that Vegapunk created it. Matter of fact, I think he was told that. So he would know, like, okay, well, Vegapunk created S Snake, so I might have to go holler at Vegapunk. You know what I mean? So you might be on. I'm telling you, man. You might be on.
This is gonna be lit.
You might be on to something. But yeah, I don't know if you was finished.
I like this because Parvision did say something when we were talking about it when they did the reaction to the chapter, and his idea was that if you think about it, he did seem to want it, but he was also very happy that the world government did not get it. So I think he pondered the question if it was not a race to the time in which, the way Hancock said it, it could be from she's not able to unlock people who were turned to stone by former users. So I would even say that I think the world government and Blackbeard might be racing against time to get that fruit.
Yeah.
To be able to use that fruit. Yeah.
If we put in everything we said so far, like the possibility of a Moria Seraphim and Blackbeard's idea of trying to get Moria, like what was his goal there? And then him taking Kobe after he finds out about the authority chip idea. What was his goal there? Right? If you think about Pudding also being a part of a ship that can like straight up remove and manipulate memories, what's his goal with that? Right? Is it just because she's a three-eyed tribe, or is it also because if she wanted to, if they did capture Moria, could he brainwash Moria into manipulating the shadow of a former person that he wants to bring back? Well, like you said, back to what Blumgod said about my dude, that was really somebody he knew that was petrified, right? Yeah. But if he brings back a previous user of the fruit that owned it, right, and then gave them the ability from the green blood, that's a whole other thing. He's bringing back a former user that actually petrified that person, manipulating their shadow using more, right? Manipulating their memories using Pudding, and then commanding them. It would be crazy. That would be like the Eisen level. That's Eisen, bro. Like that's
bro. Blackbeard on something. Blackbeard on some type of time, but it's so many possibilities of where this could go. Like I like you was right. Like you was on to something with Blackbeard, but then Cube was on to something when it comes to like the possibility of the punk records going rogue. Kind of like Skynet, right? It'd be kind of like Skynet going rogue from like Terminator, you know, it eventually evolving past where like humans can't, you know, control it no more, you know. So dang, it's possibilities.
And these are takes you don't hear anywhere else, that's for sure.
Yes sir, yes sir. Was you done? You got anything else to add?
Yeah, I think that's about it for me.
That's about it for you.
Yeah.
Cube or Angel, one of y'all got anything to add?
No, I was just gonna say, actually, I do like the last thing Ragnar said is very, because I don't think it's a coincidence that one of the first things we saw about Blackbeard was going after Hank out the foot. And even though everything is going with Blackbeard, we should not discredit that there was something. And if you think about it, the Seraphim aren't in the world government's hand. They were trying to retrieve them.
Mm,
I think. I know they had them. So yeah, that's the thing I'm wondering now. I'm sorry. But I have nothing else to say. But I like the take of Ragnar, the last take. It was really good.
cool, cool.
Just keep in mind, I think Vegapunk is a props
think-
as Cube does, but I don't think it's a valid point to think there's a Prime Punk coming soon.
You think Vegapunk? Because you cut out. You cut out when
Oh.
you was. You think
I don't think there's an opportunity of a Prime Punk like Vegapunk Prime happening. So
like Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
Vegapunk Prime, YouTube Premium or something, like a premium punk. Yeah.
Premium Punk, let's go.
Will Lucci and Kaku team up with Luffy and Zoro? You know, so yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. You what do you think? You know, because you have any?
I kind of want to hear what you guys think because I'm all over the place with my thoughts on that.
That is the question. Do I think it's going to happen?
You can start there.
Or
Definitely
Okay.
start there.
do I think it's going to happen? I think it
Mhm.
will. I actually do think it's going to happen because this wouldn't be the first time that Luffy just straight up trusted.
Says yes to an alliance.
Yeah, just said yes to an alliance for somebody who was prior an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it could happen. I think even though he was shocked, so that he was kind of like, what? Us work with you? What? So that was kind of new for his character, but I would say I think it's likely. Like when we get these moments, Oda tend to make it to where it's like we gotta question it first, but then it happens. So I do think it's gonna happen, and I potentially can see. Let me say this. Let me also say this. If the person commanding the Seraphim turns out to be Saturn, I can honestly see Lucci and Kaku actually going against the world government eventually. Because if the Gorosei wants Lucci and Kaku dead, they're out. They're pretty much done with the world. Like the world government is done with CP0, right?
Yeah.
They're done with them. So
And that would be the second time they would have tried to kill them too.
yeah, exactly. Because that cover story, the CP, yeah. So I could see if everything turns out to be Saturn's doing with all this chaos going on, I could see Lucci and Kaku end up being allies with the Straw Hats moving forward, because it wouldn't be the first time that Oda made an enemy into more of a long-lasting ally, because I do think Crocodile might be more of a long-lasting ally with the Straw Hats. I'm trying to think of other enemies turned allies that we've seen. I could see Doflamingo possibly end up later down the line, like if he comes back into the story being a more longer ally as well. So yeah, I think CP0 might be allies with Straw Hats ultimately, and I think it's possible, but I do think they will let them out of the cuffs, and it will, at the very least, we'll get a temporary alliance. I do believe that. Cube, you wanna answer this question?
Yep, because I actually have an interesting take about this. Because I'm a big believer, especially since what's his name, Scarfino, or
Yes.
if you prefer the drip.
Dripper Scarfino. Let's go.
Dripper Scarfino.
Yeah, Dripper Scarfino. Yeah, Dripper Scarfino. Hey, the way he talked about envy your freedom.
By the way,
in which
that's how I still address him.
Yeah.
That's how I will continue to address him.
That's the community's name. Facts.
Yeah. So this is my thing, okay? he did say, "I envy your freedom," and I would not say that all CP0 agents are slaves or that sense, but he is a special case because if you think correctly, they gave him one order to do and nothing more. And when he complied, he did what he did. He interrupted the fight and then and think about it, he didn't even defend himself. And I've been wondering if he followed the instruction to a T. So what if like some CP0 agents, when they get an order from Gorse, like a bit like the Seraphim, they have to comply 100%. Like it's in the way they were trained, like sleeper agent if you want.
Mm-hmm.
But also what I like about the Stussy part is, do you know why in lores, why when vampires drink blood directly from the source of the human, like from the neck, why most of the victims never cry, never scream? Because that's how they do their hypnosis, their trance. By the bloodstream, they're able to keep them calm, or actually compliance to the vampire. So I'm wondering if Stussy her power had an effect on it, because that's how
Oh,
vampire do their hypnosis, and she
yeah.
stabbed them the same way, Stussy. Like she made them like let's say more like compliant, and maybe through hockey we have hockey at the will. So maybe when she did that, like there's think of Miss Golden Week painting stuff. What is something similar to that? But it's limited, as obviously, maybe like for a couple of hours,
Yeah. So they're
because
being
think of it.
compliant because what Stussy did.
Yeah. Or if that thing of the CP0 do have that something where you have to listen to orders, and like maybe Lucci isn't as cutthroat. He's still an assassin, but it's not like, think about it, 2-3 chapters ago, he didn't even want to back up. He needed to go after Luffy. He couldn't get over it, and now he's willing to work with him. Going from a guy who couldn't even give him a breather to the moment where the guy says, "I need your help. We will work together." It's weird. The guy was very hostile towards Luffy. How does it? Kakua would understand, but it's the same guy. That's very weird. There's something. There's something off.
Could it just be that like, because they're willing to die if it completes their mission, kind of like Dripper, right? So
Yeah.
if that's the case, Lucci and Kaku still have yet to complete their mission. So if they die, they will fail their mission, technically.
Yeah.
So it's just like they gotta still survive so they can complete. I mean, as weird as that, as psychotic as that might sound, like, hey, you might as well just die and just not complete it, right? Like, but they're just that brainwashed that they have to complete their mission, you know. So that, I mean, but I do kind of like, but I can see some legitimacy with like what you said about Stussy, the bite from Stussy kind of making them comply a bit, I think there could be something to that. But if come to find out it's the Gorosei that's trying to kill them, I don't know how they respond to that. Do they just accept the death and just be like, well, I mean, my boss wants me to die, or my master wants me to die, so I guess I'm gonna just have to die here.
Yeah. Because think of it, he didn't even use his iron shield with Kaido. He took the hit.
Yeah.
And he knew. He even told them, "I would be killed." And they said, "And sometimes you have to sacrifice your pawns," or just like that. And he did not even hesitate. He let himself be killed. So there is something weird.
I think maybe he realized he wasn't messing with Kaido. It could have been
maybe
like,
it's Kaido. It's also Kaido. I would agree on that. Also,
like it could be like them. It could be like that case where you see like a big truck that you can't avoid coming your way, and it's about to hit you, and it's like it's so close that you're not gonna be able to avoid. You're just gonna be like, well, guess I'm dying here, or I'm about to get killed right here. It seemed like, or it kind of like when a deer in the headlights or something, like some situation kind of like that, where it's like, oh damn, it's just kind of frozen, where it's like I can't do anything about this, so I might as well just take this head on.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know if I think that Guernica was commanded to die. More so, I think he just knew that he was participating in a suicide mission. So it was like, just gotta eat the bullet, Angel.
I was gonna say I don't know if it happens. I'll just wait and see.
Informative. Anyway,
But I
Ragnar.
hope I hope it doesn't.
I like that. Keep it toxic. I like that.
Yeah, Angel
Angel.
has some addiction to being toxic, you know. Like trying to convince me these fake spoiler panels I seen were real.
Angel, Angel, tell them what you told me the other day. He had some issue.
The only reason, like, the only reason why I would have a problem with this, like, if it were to go the route that Lump says, is because of like how Lucci's character was introduced and what his character was meant to represent in the arc he was introduced. I'm like, if he ends up doing the opposite, I wouldn't like it. Like how his character is supposed to be, oh, this is how far the world government is willing to go, or this is how dark they are. And I'm like, and I really like that about it.
I
And for them to just switch up on that, it would be weird for me.
I have
I wouldn't
pushback.
like it.
I have pushback on what you just said, and
Me too as well.
I think that cover story. I think the cover story, the CP9 cover story,
Mhm.
is the answer to that, because I think before their defeat to the Straw Hats the first time, I believe yes, Lucci was completely like robotic, where it's just like I do whatever the world government wants, no questions asked. But after everything freaking collapsed for CP9 and the cover story happened, I think Lucci learned more about camaraderie. I think the defeat the Straw Hats humanized Lucci and the other CP9 agents, because they almost had to be like a family and survive with each other, you know, run from the world government and stuff. So I think that almost humanized Lucci to where he's more like, you know what, I'm more willing to actually go against the world government, you know, if need
If
be, you know, and I will work with Luffy if the government tries to kill me and my friend Kaku, you know, because Kaku was also there as well.
I'll
So
add to that.
I want to say this, I agree with you with the others, but with Lucci, I don't agree with you at all. If this dude learned anything from that battle, I don't know why he would be keeping this grudge where he instantly attacks Luffy when he sees him. Like him promising to Luffy, no matter what happens in this world, I'm gonna chase after Robin.
Mhm.
Like this dude is not. I don't see him humanized anyway. To
All
me,
right.
it's just a temporary. If it's just a temporary thing, I'll get over it. But if it turns to this whole long range thing, it'll be weird for me.
yeah,
I would dislike it because I
I will
kind of
say
like
this.
I'm
how
gonna
his
let
character was.
Ragnar go before
I will say this. I understand what you're saying, but I do think it's temporary. I think Lucci considers Luffy just a legitimate rival. He wants to be able to defeat him. It's like how Crocodile wants to defeat Whitebeard, right? Or how Mihawk or how Shanks wants his rematch with Mihawk, right?
mm-hmm.
He wants to get that get back with Luffy. I see what you're saying. And I think it would be a disservice to the story if it never happens.
Hmm.
Too much for Angel. Um, but I will say there's another part of that story that actually does help counter this as well. Even before Lucci got to Egghead, we saw him
Oh,
questioning the
hold on,
government's
Ragnar.
oversight.
Hold on, real quick. Hey, Angel, can you mute? Cause your thing is loud. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. We see even before Lucci got to Egghead, we see him questioning some of the orders he got from Egghead. Like, I heard Lucia got destroyed, or he's saying, "Yeah, was that?" Yeah, he's questioning. Is that even
Yeah.
necessary? You know, so he had doubts in the government beforehand, and we know that he felt betrayed when they ordered the Buster call on him at Eni's lobby.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, Lucci has more reasons not to trust the government because he's probably seen people who work. He's probably been ordered to assassinate people who have dedicated their lives to the government. Example: Vegapunk, people who's dedicated 20 years of their life to help, like
Hmm.
help the government. and they're assassinating him now once he, the quote unquote, no longer has use. So we already see him kind of, even within himself, starting to think, maybe I should go back to like maybe his original idea is to betray the government. Maybe he already has, like I said, triple thing. He could just partner with Straw Hat right now until Saturn gets to the island, because you could say that they don't even know Saturn is on his way. I don't know, think they know. Is a chance they know, but if they knew, they wouldn't have tried to partner up, or maybe they are just trying to stall for time until they get there. So you have to think about this beyond just feelings wise for Lucci, because at the end of the day, they don't care about feelings. They acted to be the friends of Iceberg for years, and then just stabbed them in the back like it was nothing. Right? You have to keep that in mind. So this quote unquote alliance that they're trying to put up with the Straw Hats could just be a way to make them lower their guard, to actually slip past that really big, like really strong defense that they have. Like probably Zoro wouldn't drop his guard, but Luffy definitely would drop his guard,
Yeah.
right? And that's what Lucci really wants. He's not trying to beat him in a one-on-one battle. Like, well, he lost that already, so now he's just going to try to beat him the way he knows how. Assassination, maybe. So getting closer to them makes more sense since they've already lost to them completely, compared to trying to fight it to the bitter end and just getting killed.
Yeah.
So staying alive now and just finding a way to get past those barriers, and then right when they least expect it, right? Imagine trying to defend an attack from right when you defend the attack, Lucci comes in, finger pistol. That's it. So that's all he needs. He needs to get past those barriers of trust, and he could really catch Luffy off guard with that. Not just Luffy too, Robin. Not just Robin, like anybody. This is the perfect way to get in, because Straw Hat is Luffy's that dude to let down his guard even around his enemies if they say they're friends. Remember when he said to Law, let's find out if he'll betray us. Will you betray us? Nah. Okay, see, he won't betray us. Like, that's his qualifier for find out if there's a traitor. So, like, even if Zoro was to say to him, like, sure we should do this, Luffy? You sure they won't betray us? He'll look at Lucci and say, will you betray us? And he'll say, no, of course not. Luffy would trust him.
Yeah.
I would say that part, to jump in, sorry, and I know Angel
Go
wants
ahead,
to say
no
something,
problem.
but I would say that part is more like Luffy's natural talent, like with his will. How Brule said, he has a natural intelligence, like prowess in that sense, and more
Yeah, I
like he
kind
could
of agree with
sense
Q. I agree with Q.
the nature of the, like, if you have think of Naruto when he became 100% with Kurama, he could feel like the hatred because Kurama was a hateful person, so he could felt hatred in Kisame. I think Luffy, where he is, he could feel like the heart, or like he could sense the will, like, you know how it is. So I think he does sense like an unbalance. It's like, so he uneasy, so he would have his guard on.
Yeah, yeah. I think Luffy's smarter than we give him credit for.
I think that's fair.
I think he would be able to sense if it's just the people that he does that to, just they are being genuine in that moment, so he just openly trusts them. But Angel, let Angel rebut.
I want to say I agree with everything.
Dude at a waterfall or something. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I agree with everything Ragnar says. The only thing I saw differently is the Lucia and the whole, what's it called, Buster Call stuff. The Lucia stuff, I thought he was just being curious. Yeah. And from Kaku's and Stussy words, he seems to be curious a lot with stuff. And I don't think he felt betrayed, because from my memory, he seemed to enjoy the whole Buster Call thing when he was fighting Luffy. He seemed to be using it to his advantage.
Remember what happened?
He seemed to use it in the cover story.
Yeah.
In the cover story, I don't remember what happens in the cover story. I just know that after that, they pinned the blame on him and the rest of the members. That's all I remember from the cover stories, that one guy said that it was them who called the Buster Call. That's it. But yeah, for me, I don't think he felt betrayed from the Buster Call. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Yeah. But everything else, I agree with you.
So like, just to say something, because I just kind of want to rebut what Ragnar and Angel was going. I agree that Lucci might still have a rivalry with Luffy. So I don't dispute the possible rivalry. I don't think they're going to be best friends, and I don't think Lucci's going to be the next member of the Straw Hats. That's not what I'm saying. I I just think that it's possible that it's going to be the end of Rob Lucci's career as a world government employee. I think if and this is more dependent on if Saturn is the one causing all this chaos, right? If Saturn is behind this. If not, then I don't know if this is going to be, if I personally believe this. If Saturn and the Gorosei does indeed want CP0, at least the CP0 agents at Egghead Island, such as Rob Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy, if their goal is to kill them, because they're loose ends, you know what I'm saying? If that's the case, I could see CP0 no longer serving the world government anymore. Because it went for Lucci and Kaku, it wouldn't be the first time that they were pretty much betrayed by the world government. You know what I mean? And I don't see Rob Lucci as, I think he could have potentially changed a little bit. As far as like his willingness to die for the world government and to be that loyal. Like, is he still loyal at this point? Yeah, but I don't think his loyalty is as unconditional as it was back when he was CP9. Like, I don't think it's like that. Like, he just loyal to a fault. Now I think there's something in him that's more willing to question the world government, kind of like what Ragnar said when he was questioning him early this arc. I think there's something willing in him that's more so willing to rebel against the world government if he feels that they're trying to betray him again. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to betray Luffy to try to kill him. I think he might he might want to be a rival with Luffy, but more on a friendly rival than I'm trying to kill you for the world government. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, will he want to fight Luffy some more? Possibly, but is he going to try to like get him while his guard's down? I don't know, unless somehow what's happening with the Seraphim trying to kill the CP0 and the Vegapunks is part of some type of plan. You know what I mean? Like, if he's trying to gain the Straw Hats' trust just so they could, release him, and then, you know what I mean? If it's part of a plan, then yes. But if, let's say we find out Saturn is controlling the Seraphim and he's trying to get rid of CP0, I think Lucci might be willing to actually act out against the world government and possibly form a long-term alliance with the Straw Hats, more for maybe like a safe haven type situation, But go ahead, Angel. I know you done unmuted, so you want to say something.
I was gonna say, I've been thinking about it, and with this whole thing, what you're saying, and I personally don't think I would mind it if this happened. But the only reason why I wouldn't mind it is if he died. Like, if this happened,
I knew it.
he needs to die. It needs to be,
I knew he was gonna say that.
Let's go, bro. This
Dead.
dude is
I knew
toxic
it.
as hell, bro.
I knew
I
it.
love it.
It needs to be Saturn that kills him. It has to be Saturn, nobody else. Saturn has to be the one that kills him.
You know what, Angel? I might actually agree with that. I can actually see that happening. I'm not opposed to that, Angel. But continue. My bad.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If this does happen, I hope Saturn kills him.
I think so.
He's gonna save his character.
I want to hear. Q was gonna say something earlier to agent, but I don't remember if he actually got to say it.
No. So this is what I was gonna say, and this is why I do like the Rob Lucci stuff, and actually him dying at the end, if he does oppose the world government, would make so much sense, and I will like this. Is because if you think of Rob Lucci, he's been a child or a CP0 agent recruit. And so I'm wondering if, that's my thing, is his loyalty really natural? Or is it something like the form of compliance? Not saying like he's a lapdog, they put a code and he listens to them. Like they made him understand like CP0 is important. You know how those childs are indoctrinated in Africa to be like war children? They made them think that what they're doing is helping the peace. It's when they're young, it's like a cult-like situation. You get in this idea, and whatever you do, best example is Black Widow agents. Like she was learned as a child, 6 years old, to shoot. You teach them that murder is right under the right circumstances. And I think maybe Lucci might be realizing. So I do like that. Lucci could be the one person he grew up that way, and then he's realizing through Luffy, Lika also liberated him, and you were seeing the true level of Luffy. Literally, that even somebody who is born to comply all the time because he's taught that way. But maybe he's starting to see that there's another way. And I would see the Gorosei fearing that and killing him on the spot.
I mean, when you look at Rob Lucci, he is kind of a tragic character. Like the CP9 agents in general, like they're like slaves, man. Like they literally slaves. They're, you know, especially like even Guernica, like or not Guernica, but I forgot one of the agents said, he was talking to Drake, and he was like, I envy you that you could be so free.
It was Scarfino. It was him who said it.
Oh, yeah.
I envy your freedom.
I disagree. I mean, if we were talking about any other agent, let me tell you, I'm gonna keep repeating myself. When it comes to Lucci, when it comes to stuff like this, I have to disagree. Because at the age of 12, this man killed people he wasn't ordered to kill. He wasn't ordered to kill them. He did it because he said that they would be wasteful in his eyes. He enjoyed it. He was smiling and everything.
But this was after his brainwashing, right?
Because we had this discussion. What I'm going to jump in, because I know we had the argument 2 days ago. The thing I'm saying is that Lucci is the best example. He is a kid that was brought into this ideology. And what I'm saying that we might see somebody breaking out that ideology, but we might see Lucci would make a lot of sense, showing how much Luffy is able to liberate people. Like this could also be the symbolism that Luffy. Let me finish.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say before, because think about it. The idea of Luffy is that he's a liberator. The idea of Nika is supposed to be a liberator. What I'm saying is that maybe with Lucci, I'm not saying Lucci is gonna break the chains from his mental shackles, and he'll be like Big Mom losing her memory, being the same Big Mom. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying we've never met Lucci outside of CP0, Cypherpol itself. He's a kid, he was recruited. So that's what I'm saying. He's been in this ideology since he's a kid. So Lucci breaking that apart, which resulted to his death because the Gorosei cannot let true free will being in CP0 would make sense. You know, that's what I'm saying, because we never really knew a Lucci outside of Cypherpol. We never met him.
Let Ragnar go. Ragnar say he wanted.
I think Angel is arguing a sense of nature compared to Cube is arguing a sense of nurture. And the truth is, it could be a mixture of both, right? Or it could be either one, but it could be both. Maybe Lucci naturally had a talent for killing, and the government manipulated that talent towards a direction where maybe he wouldn't have went down the road that road himself. But I don't think it's too far off, like Angel is saying, that Lucci enjoys killing. Like, this is what he likes to do. Even if he was brought up in an environment that made that very easy for him, doesn't remove the fact that he actually could be a person who enjoys doing that. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's a stretch. And I agree with that. But
I agree as well.
But my point is, like, he still also, like what Cube said, is like he still was pretty much raised to be a killer. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you raised to be a killer, like enjoying killing is like kind of what might come with it, especially for some. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you already kind of have a disposition for violence, you know. But what I'm saying is, like, I think Lucci, because he's grown a lot, and one thing about Luffy is he tends to beat people into changing. he tends to beat the change into people. So I feel as though Luffy kind of exemplifies in Lucci's eyes, right? Like he might exemplify in Lucci's eyes something different. Like maybe he's a contradiction to what Lucci learned. So it leaves, like it could it could lead to Lucci questioning stuff, especially after being defeated the first time. Which, I mean, we see him now, and he was like Ragnar said earlier, he was questioning the world government, like their choices.
Yep.
Lucci back then probably wouldn't have done that. Lucci just would have done what he was told, but now he's kind of questioning, like, hey, why are we killing? Like he's like, hey, I don't know if I think this is wise from our bosses telling us to do this. You know what I'm saying? And now
I
he's sitting here saying like, hey, let's work together, Straw Hat. You know what I'm saying? Let's work together. Yeah, it could be a setup stuff, but if his life is truly in danger, I mean, I think he would kind of prioritize surviving. And why is a CP9 agent prioritizing his survival? You know what I mean? Is it to finish the mission? I don't know. But I think Lucci might be somewhat. I'm not saying he's just this good-hearted guy either. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying his outlook on the people he served might be different. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the outlook that on the world government, his outlook might be different. And he might be more inclined to go against what they say if he doesn't necessarily agree with it, or if it's against him and his survival. Go ahead, Angel.
here is my rebuttal to this whole questioning thing, because he doesn't question his orders. What he questions is whether or not two things are linked together. He's wondering if Lulucia and them killing Vegapunk is linked together. He's not questioning his orders.
But that's not the point I'm saying though. Because
I'm gonna jump in because I have a perfect
hold on,
example.
Q, I'll let you go, but hold on. When he questioned that, I think it was Stussy, either Stussy or Kaku, one of them. They pointed out like, "Hey, why are you asking all these questions? This ain't like you." Like they kind of imply like this ain't of his character, of Rob Lucci's character. That's my point in bringing that up. It's kind of against his character to be questioned, like asking all these questions about the mission. He just does the mission.
That's not what they say.
What do they say?
Stussy says someone with instincts like yours should know better than to. What's it called? I don't know. Hold on. Should know better than to question stuff, than to question these things. And he says,
Yeah.
agreed. Don't get us in any hot water, Lucci.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he's not questioning his orders. He's just trying to see if these things are linked.
That's not.
Angel.
Hold on, Q. Let me say this and I'll let you go, Angel. That's not what I'm saying, Angel. I'm saying he's doing something that is uncharacteristic of himself. I'm not saying he's questioning like, hey, why are we doing this? It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like he's asking questions. He was asking questions, and Stussy said, "You're a man who works on instincts. Why, now you're asking these questions?" He said, she's pretty much saying, bro, that's this. What you're doing right now is not like you. This is uncharacteristic.
That's not what she said. She said someone with your instincts should know not to ask questions.
Should know not to ask questions. Someone with Lucci's instincts should know you're doing something that's not like you, bro. That's I didn't.
Yeah, that's
it's the same thing, bro. That's
a double.
No, I'm saying
You're hitting on the
no, to
semantics.
me. No, let me tell you. This is. I see it as her saying like someone as knowledgeable as you should not be asking questions like this. That's all I see it. It doesn't to me that doesn't seem like you're doing this is out of character for you, because like I've seen people say stuff like this before, and it was in the person's character for them to ask a question, but with their knowledge they should know not to ask that question.
But yet he's asking the question
confusing?
though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying him asking me that question is probably in his character, but just because he has the knowledge to know that he shouldn't doesn't mean he wouldn't.
I mean
Okay,
that's what you got out of that, but that's definitely not what I got out of. I got out of her saying like you're doing something out of character for yourself.
Remember what Spandam asked?
and what she said, the words that she said, it doesn't really change any. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Cube. Go ahead.
Okay, so because I have a perfect answer for Angel, it's a perfect thing because you guys were just hitting on the semantics. We're saying the same thing, in which I will say this.
No.
When Spandam first asked Lucci, what does he really like in his missions? You know, when he asked him stuff like that, he said the only thing that interested him is the murder, assassin, which revealed that he was a born killer. But let's okay? The fact that Lucci, not like he asked questions stuff like that, he pondered on stuff that is very dangerous from an organization that refuses you just to have any type of knowledge of poneglyph. Just knowing about poneglyph is a reason to get you killed. So do you really think that an assassin, paid assassin that you have for, should ask questions? Guys who do the dirty job that nobody knows about. That's what I'm saying. That is quite, I'm not saying it's out of character, but that by itself is a red flag from the Lucci we saw from before. The Lucci we saw before was just about the killing. Here we've been seeing Lucci who's interested in the information. Before he didn't care about Robin or what would the implication with it. Now he's asking about, do you think it's connected to Lelucia? He's asking questions. He's making connections. So there is something different with Lucci. It's not the same guy.
Yeah, and if he knows better, but yet he's doing something against what he should be doing, should not be doing, or should be doing. Like, you know, we never know. We never known Lucci to not, like, he's held to be like probably one of their greatest agents, and it's partially because he don't ask questions.
Yeah, and I would even say that for reference, and I've been suspecting that, pretty sure Lucci was part of the team that got the Gomu. His first mission where he killed all those people was 12 years ago, the same year as CP0 Cypherpole CP9 having possession of the Gomu that they lost from Shanks. So I would even say that Lucci, since a young kid, he could have done those important missions without even realizing it. So having somebody like him start asking questions is very dangerous for an organization like the world government.
Yeah. Ragnar, did you have anything to add? I feel like you was wanted to say something at one point.
Well, you see, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but didn't Lucci have a whole thing where he says like just be obedient and die to one of those people one time, where he was basically saying, yeah, like you're not. And why did he say just be obedient and die? The person was asking him questions like do I need to be killed? Like, bro, shut up. Just be obedient and die. If you change the order to something, just be obedient and do your job.
No, I'm pretty sure they were killing someone who failed a mission.
Yes, and the person was probably just asking them a question during that time. Why?
They were asking for another chance.
The point he's saying, Andrew, is he's very order centric and not about like asking
that's
questions.
That's my point, Angel. I want you just don't fight against this. This is what I'm saying. He was saying, why are you even talking right now? You should know that I got the orders to kill you. There's no negotiation.
He didn't get the orders to kill him. He just did it.
Angel, you're finding the semantics. Just really listen to his idea thought, because you're just finding on the semantics right now. Just listen to what he's saying.
I got nothing else to say.
Yeah. Basically, Angel, I can reiterate. What you're actually doing is that you're going on. They never actually. It's not about that. What he is saying, Ragnar, is before pre-time skip, the guy was all about the order, and then post-time skip. What we're saying is, we're not saying he's a different person. He loves butterflies. He's not gonna kill anymore. But from a guy who says just you know, like just die, you know, follow the orders. Now he's asking, do you think this is connected to Lelucia? It is weird for a guy that seems to be order centric. That's all. That's all we're saying. Like there is something, and we're just saying maybe there's 2% of change in Lucci, but that might be enough for the Gorosei to get scared and try to kill him. Angel, because if they don't have true freedom of speech, true freedom, what would happen if they see the first agent, which is Rob Lucci, showing acts of freedom? Somebody who has a will, you know, his own will, wants to be a bit more free. That's all I'm saying about that. And, that was the idea of it. But yeah.
What Ragnar did, Angel, was he was showing a pattern of Lucci's character. Like it's like a pattern. It's like evidence of his character. Like you said, Lucci might be like one thing you said is that Lucci might ask a lot of questions. There's never been evidence of that pattern, but you just said it. Like we're just, you know what I'm saying? And that's true. It could be, but there's never been evidence of that pattern. There's more evidence that argues against that logic than that actually supports what you said. And Ragnar kind of brought, and that's the point what Ragnar does. It shows a pattern of his character and how what his actions say today are a contradiction to that character. That was kind of the purpose of what Ragnar did, but yeah.